This patio project was started in the summer of 2012. In May of 2013, it came to an abrupt stop when I had open heart surgery. It was resumed again in the spring of 2014. As you can see, it was originally built using pressure-treated 2x4s formed out into 4-foot squares. They were reinforced with steel remesh and tied together with a scant amount of rebar. Between the large paulownia outside the wall and the birch growing out of the center, 6 of the slabs had heaved up and the wall was crumbling. These original photos were taken about 10 years ago, so really don't show the extent of the damage. The demolition was accomplished through the use of an electric jackhammer I had purchased online. It really wasn't heavy enough to break up the 4 to 5 inch thick squares. However, I made it do, and toward the end figured out the best way to use it. The shovel attachment has come in handy for several projects and was a good investment. However, you really should have a heavier jackhammer to do a job like this. 6 slabs needed to be removed, plus the entire wall. This shot shows how the roots had worked their way up through the wall, causing it to crumble apart. I completed a scale SketchUp drawing of my plan. This allowed me to calculate the number of pavers we would need, plus gave me an idea of how it would look. I knew that if I was going to lay the pavers on sand, leveled on top of the remaining concrete slabs, I would need a retainer around the edge, and that would require a footer. The rebar was tied in one long length, plus contractor spikes were driven into the ground to anchor it. There were also several places where I could tie onto the original rebar in order to hold my footer firm. I really don't think it's going to go anywhere. The paving bricks were dry fit around the entire outer edge. For the radius, they were keystoned to fit using my wet tile saw. This was not an easy task since the saw did not have a large enough diameter to go all the way through the bricks. They were then mortared to the footer starting in this corner. I leveled the bricks to a string line, knowing this was critical to the finished grade. This was the first time I ever laid bricks in my life, and I just can't understand how the professionals can make it look so easy. A grade was established to the back of the patio, and the spaces between the 2x4 slabs were filled in with contractor sand. Some of the areas were backwashed from years of rain drainage, so the sand was flushed with a hose until it stayed level to the top of the slabs. Except for my wife helping me pour the footer, this was a one-man job, and it was hard to screed large areas at a time by myself. I built quite a few screeds to fit the different areas I was working on. Each row of pavers was aligned to the previous. Rather than pay $30 to $50 for a metal stomper, I built one out of 2x4s and a piece of plywood. I only had about an inch or two of sand to compact, so this worked quite fine. The pavers around my brick radius were cut using an angle grinder with a diamond blade. Finally, polymeric sand was applied according to the instructions on the package. A final grading was required before dumping the river stone. Well, guess what? There was about a 5-inch root from the birch tree running the length that had to be removed. By this time, I was quite obviously tired of looking at this project. Well, I spent about 4 hours digging it out and then barreled in the river stone. I think a fire pit would look great in the middle of this to put on the finishing touches. If you have any comments or suggestions on this video, please feel free to post them. I welcome them. Plus, you make it a great day, and thanks for watching.